again on Tanner Mill Way. As you can see, crews are already here working to fix the damage that's been done to these residents. Now, I've been out there to the neighborhood and I spoke with some people and they tell me that traffic moves really fast on that road. The scene out here looks a lot different than it did last Thursday, where there was crime tape. Now there is a small memorial. Even with all of these resources, we still don't have enough food to feed the people in South Carolina. This is an ongoing investigation and we are still waiting to see if there will be any charges. But there was a very heavy police presence here earlier, and we have now found out that they were here responding to a domestic incident and that one person is dead. He passed Mingo Street in Orangeburg, heard a loud noise, felt lightheaded and dizzy, and then noticed that there was blood coming from his head. And leaders don't have a plan to address the situation they faced last year. Last night's board meeting got heated at times when some asked about the future. Good afternoon, everybody. I'm here just right beside Rollison Road where the Vince Ford Early Learning Center construction is. And as you can see right here, a lot of residents say this water has made its way into their home. I'm going to go speak with one of the residents soon and try to figure out, is this on the district? I mean, this is the day after and the sun is out today and it's soaked up some of that water, but it's still coming. Good morning, everybody. I'm here at the site of where that Columbia apartment fire took place. As you can see, the damage is pretty substantial. I'm gonna flip my camera. I mean, look at the damage. It still smells like flames and smoke out here. And I don't know if you all can hear it, but the beeping from the fire alarms is still beeping.
Inmates are dying. Officers are forced to stay in the condition. When officers call for help, we sometimes don't get help for hours.
A corrections officer whose identity we are protecting is talking about conditions inside the Alvin S. Glenn Detention Center.
It's ridiculous. That's what the inmates, the officers, everyone is inhaling. It's been that way for years. Very nasty and disgusting. The toilets, most of the toilets in the dorms do not work. So inmates have to go in other inmate rooms just to use the toilet, and sometimes it causes issues.
The officer says there is mold and a lack of adequate plumbing inside the facility. The video shows sinks and toilets not working as inmates wander from appliance to appliance. According to jail staff, conditions and safety are a major issue. The officer says they feel a total loss of control as soon as they clock in for their shift, and the other co-workers feel the same way.
The only thing we have is a radio, handcuffs, and they just issued body cams. We don't have any mace. We don't have any tasers. So when these inmates are roaming around with knives and they're smoking in the dorms, contraband, anything can happen to us at any time. Some days it'll be one officer to 50 inmates, or it could be one officer to 150 to 200 inmates. We're running multiple dorms, and it's been that way for the past few years.
According to the officer, staff had high hopes for improved conditions after new jail director Crayman Harvey was hired. However, some of those hopes have dashed.
And depending on who that inmate is, if the management is upset with the inmate for whatever reason, they will allow them to suffer as long as possible. So it does take the families calling, or it'll be another inmate.
Saturday, Richland County Administrator Leonardo Brown received a letter from the branch chief of inspections for jails and prisons with the Department of Corrections, citing a number of violations in a recent inspection. The letter points out the issues need to be addressed within 90 days, or the State Department of Corrections could shut down the facility.
They're going to continue to be stagnant. They're going to continue to be deaths, and it affects all of us. It affects all of us.
According to Richland County officials, they are doing significant upgrades to the jail. WACHFOX News reached out to jail officials for an interview, and we are still awaiting their response. In Columbia, Marsharia Adams, WACHFOX News, Local First.
We're in the dark. We know nothing.
Jim Reed is a concerned Richland County taxpayer and supporter of Richland One schools. What Reed doesn't support or understand is why district officials haven't been transparent about how much money has been spent on the Vince Ford Early Learning Center since construction on the job was halted January 19th. Reed has taken several steps to find out the information, even submitting a question to the school board by email to Reed during a meeting.
I have not gotten any response whatsoever to my question that was asked at the meeting.
Reed is just one of many concerned taxpayers who are looking for answers about the $31 million project. Last week, WACHFOX News reached out to the district about the money, and they responded, notifying us that they would not be providing any additional information regarding the project. Richland County Councilman Don Weaver says the lack of transparency is why he voted not to increase the district's 2023-2024 school year budget.
One of the issues I ran on in 2022 was financial transparency. And for the district to say they don't have the figures, they can't provide the figures, I find that strange to say the least, because we know that security on the site is getting paid. They certainly wouldn't be working for free. So somebody's got those answers, and I think someone at the district, it would be in their best interest to provide the information.
This is our money. We want to know how our money is being spent. And to have public officials who refuse to provide that information is very upsetting to taxpayers.
District officials notified the public at the board meeting in January that $2,200 a day would be spent for security and other costs while the project is on hold amid a state inspector general's investigation.
I would feel better if they were transparent. However, the problem would still exist. We would know what the problem was.
To say, hey, maybe we made some mistakes in the front end, fine. Mistakes are, can be forgiven, but we want to know what the financial cost is going forward. I don't think that's too much to ask.
WACHFOX News reached out to the Richland 1 School District again, asking how much money has been accumulated since that January 19 work stoppage. They notified us that they are on spring break and they will respond when they are back in office. The next school board meeting is scheduled for April 23rd. According to an incident report from the Richland County Sheriff's Department, 3 girls under the age of 12 did all of this damage. The report says the girls were starting small fires for fun at the Hollows Apartments on Sunday evening. Dalton Olson came home to find his apartment was engulfed in flames.
I was in work at Lexington and got a call from a friend of mine that lives in the apartment complex, let me know that my apartment was on fire.
This is all that's left the day after, but his beloved dog was able to escape after being trapped inside for more than an hour.
Concerned that he wasn't going to be able to get out, and then he ended up jumping out of the window on the second story and jumping into the swimming pool and going swimming for 20 minutes.
Obviously, when we got here, we had smoke and flames showing from the building. And immediately we went to what's called a second alarm. So we made the second alarm, and then even at that, we called in a third alarm.
Jenkins says the fire did $600,000 in building damage and $180,000 to people's belongings. Olson says he is still trying to figure out when he can retrieve what's left.
At this point, we don't know. The builders have to come in and check and make sure everything's structurally sound for them to remove stuff before anybody can go in.
The Sheriff's Department says the 3 girls have been referred to a diversionary program through the Fire Marshal's office. In Columbia, Marsharia Adams, WACHFOX News, Local First.